Taehyung and you are a married couple for the last 6 months. He is the CEO of Kim Corporation and you are his secretary. Taehyung's parents are the reason for your arranged marriage. She looked down scared as she was sitting on Taehyung's lap, and it wasn't a safe place for her because she clearly knew what could happen if he lost his mind. "Don't you think you are looking too beautiful today?" Taehyung asked while caressing her hair scent. Wyan didn't say anything and continued looking down in fear. A gasp left her mouth when Taehyung dropped her clothed melons. He squeezed it, making her look down scared. "You know, I so desperately wanted to bury myself deep inside you," Taehyung whispered in her ear sensually. Wyan tried to stand up, but Taehyung tightly wrapped his arms around her waist, pulling her down on his lap again. "Where do you think you're going, huh?" Taehyung asked while rubbing his nose on her cheek. Her beautiful aroma was hitting his nostril, making him want to snuggle with her so badly. "She still uses that perfume," Taehyung thought and smiled within himself. Taehyung slowly crawled his finger on her thighs, pulling the frock up, revealing her smooth legs to him. Wyan looked down in embarrassment. Her breathing became uneven when Taehyung started sucking her neck. While roaming his hands on her thighs, he moved his hand towards her inner thighs, making her gasp. "Please," she requested as tears formed in her eyes. "Please what? You don't have any right to stop me," Taehyung whispered, and in a minute, Wyan was on the bed with Taehyung hovering over her. "Let's get to the main event, shall we?" Taehyung asked while smirking, making her tremble in fear. At Kim Corporation, today Yoonwoo joined the meeting with Namjoon. Yoonwoo was sitting inside the meeting room waiting for only one person, Kim Wyan. After some time, Wyan and Taehyung entered inside and greeted everyone including Namjoon and Yoonwoo. Soon the meeting started. During the whole time, Yoonwoo was glancing at Wyan, making her uncomfortable. She, the whole time, was shifting uncomfortably on her seat, and this was what Taehyung noticed. He slowly moved his gaze towards Yoonwoo and saw him staring at his wife shamelessly. Namjoon also noticed this, so he cleared his throat, making Yoonwoo come out of his trance. Yoonwoo looked around embarrassed as he was caught staring at Wyan. After the meeting, everyone left except Namjoon, Yoonwoo, Taehyung and Wyan. "Hey Taehyung, I want to talk to you about a deal," Namjoon said, making him nod. Soon they both left from there, leaving Wyan and Yoonwoo alone. Yoonwoo looked at Wyan sadly and grabbed her hand when she was about to walk outside. Wyan's heart started beating in fear. She slowly turned around and looked at Yoonwoo's hand, which was holding her hand. "Don't let him see this," Wyan prayed to God. Even God knew who she was talking about. "Wyan, listen to me, please," Yoonwoo said and slowly pulled her towards him, making her more scared. "Yoonwoo, please leave my hand," Wyan requested in a low voice while trying to free her hand from his tight grip. "No!" Yoonwoo spat angrily and pulled her in his arms. He engulfed her waist and pulled her more closer towards him. Wyan placed her hand on Yoonwoo's chest to make some space between them, but he was not in a mood to do so. "Yoonwoo, please leave me," Wyan whispered at him, making him look at her sadly. "Wyan, why are you ignoring me?" Yoonwoo asked. Wyan looked down and didn't say anything. She didn't want to face him. "Say something," Yoonwoo said and slowly moved his face towards her ears. "Yoonwoo, I'm married. What we had between us came to an end when I got married. You were always a good friend of mine, but now you behave like my boyfriend. I never loved you. You know, right? That I told you. that I don't want it, Wayan said while looking down. Why? Why can't you? Yunwoo yelled at her, making her scared and uncomfortable. Because she's my wife, Taehyung spat firmly. Yunwoo looked at him, who was standing at the meeting room's door. Wayan's heart started beating fast in fear. She knew she was in danger now. Taehyung walked towards them in a slow pace and pulled Wayan away from Yunwoo's grip. He placed his hand around Wayan's waist, pulling her closer to him. Yunwoo's eyes followed Taehyung's hand, which was securely wrapped around her waist. Yunwoo secretly clenched his jaw while looking at the married couple in front of him. Wayan was looking down when Taehyung pulled back his hand from her waist, and the next moment Taehyung was dragging her towards his office. They both entered inside Taehyung's office. He pushed away all the things from the desk and pushed her against it. You still didn't stop your acts, huh? Taehyung muttered angrily while hovering over her. Wayan wanted to push him away from her. She wanted to run away from him. She just wanted to be away from him. You really let him pull you into his arms? Taehyung asked while holding her face. You know, right, that only I have the right to do so, Taehyung whispered in her ear from behind, making a shiver run down her spine. Remember this, you have no right to get close to any other man rather than your husband, who is me, Kim Taehyung. Taehyung said while pointing his finger towards himself. Wayan was still looking aside. But still, she was listening to him clearly, so she slowly nodded without sparing a glance at him. Taehyung couldn't see his wife with some other man rather than him. Yunwoo was one of his biggest problems. Taehyung wouldn't let Yunwoo roam around his wife now. Taehyung would make sure that Wayan would stick by his side no matter what. At Taehyung's penthouse, Taehyung and Wayan entered inside their room around midnight. After taking shower, Taehyung was waiting for Wayan to come out of the shower. Strip, he ordered when she came out of the washroom. Wayan looked at him scared. Taehyung was sitting on the bed while looking at her with his lusty eyes. I said strip, Taehyung said in a deep voice. Wayan gulped hard and slowly started stripping herself. Taehyung's eyes were struck on her. After some minutes, Wayan was standing completely naked in front of him. Taehyung stood up and went towards her. Wayan was looking down. He reached her and soon started walking around her in a circular manner. Wayan's heart was beating fast in fear. She knew that he was going to do it again, but still she was scared. A gasp left her mouth when Taehyung pulled her towards him by grabbing her waist. Wayan looked down in fear. Taehyung slowly bent towards her face and smashed his lips over her lips. Wayan didn't protest and let him kiss her. Taehyung was mad right now. Yunwoo's presence always made Wayan a different person. He didn't like Yunwoo's effect on his wife because she always forget her husband between that. After some minutes, he pulled back from the kiss and picked her up in bridal style. Taehyung started walking towards the bed with Wayan. He slowly placed her on the soft mattress and took some steps back from the bed. Wayan looked down as she noticed his actions. Taehyung started removing his clothes, making her heart beat in nervousness and fear. Ride me, Taehyung ordered, making her look at him wide eyes. But she quickly looked down when she encountered his naked body. Sir, I can't do it, she whispered as tears formed in her eyes. Disobeying me, huh? Taehyung asked. Should I punish you hard? Taehyung asked while smirking. Wayan nodded and slowly looked at him, making his heart beat wildly. Blush erupted on his cheeks when he saw her looking straight in his eyes. Taehyung shook his head and stared at her. Then do as I say, he whispered and lay down on the bed. Wyan had no choice but to do what he asked her to do. She hated doing these kinds of disgusting things. Taehyung fell down on the bed beside her and uttered, "Don't forget that now you are mine, just mine. No one can touch you and have you except me," Taehyung said and wrapped his arms around her waist, pulling her closer to him. Wyan didn't say anything and slowly looked at him when she heard soft snores. Taehyung was sleeping while resting his head on her cleavage. This man, sleeping in front of her, looked so innocent, gentle and calm. But only she knew that what kind of a beast he was. Wyan was busy in her thoughts, but she came out of her trance when she heard him. "My Wyan, only mine," Taehyung mumbled in his sleep. Please subscribe and thank you for watching.